So, dear friends, let's check the connectivity first. As usual, give me a score from 1 to 10, please. Whether you can hear me and see me. So you're giving me 10s, I see. Good. Thank you very much, dear friends. Thank you. Okay, so we can start our meeting. Today is the 13th of December, Saturday. And today, dear colleagues, we're going to have some interesting, important news. Somewhere it's probably going to be unpleasant for some category of our investors who live in certain areas. However, let's not run ahead of ourselves. So last time we had a very good Q&A session, and I guess I answered all of the questions that I was asked. Today we are going to have informational meeting, or like fact delivering meeting, regarding the territory of residence of our investors and how we are going to cooperate in the future or interact in the future, at least for some period of time. And last time there were questions about investors who live in the Russian Federation. So colleagues, we have some unpleasant news related to the laws of Russia, as far as I understand, as far as I was informed. On August the 25th, a law was adopted, and now it is coming into force, that does not allow online marketing and fundraising platforms to work with the Russian Federation citizens if those platforms are not registered on the territory of Russia. And this law applies to the Russian nationals who live in Russia, and it restricts their investments because private individuals fall under the category of non-qualified investors. And if the platform provides services to such people, then there might be consequences. However, there are some certain leniencies, one of which is the amount of investment. But here's what I wanted to tell you guys, especially those who live in Russia. First, we can continue working as we did before. However, it will have consequences both for the platform and for Russian nationals themselves. The other option here is to take a break and restrict access to investments to the Russian nationals until we complete the legal procedure of registering in Russia in order to be able to become available to Russians. So right now, the best solution for us would be to still use until the end of the year the RSW Systems back office. So you can either close your existing installment plans or open new ones and use the old back office to close them. So as for the updated platform, Micron Global, then for a certain period of time, friends, we will not be able to accept payments or investments in any form from the residents and citizens of the Russian Federation. Unfortunately, this is what can have quite a lot of reputational risks to the platform, for the platform itself, and it can also have negative consequences on the Russian investors themselves too. Because after all, the responsibility for our actions lies with us, partners. So in order not to put you at risk, not only you, but also in order not to put the platform at risk, a decision was taken until the end of the year to still allow you, I'm talking about Russian nationals, to use the RSW systems for closing your old investment plans, opening your new investment plans, and after that, it will become a purely archival website. As for the Micron global website, we won't be able to provide services to the Russian nationals on the Micron global website, at least in the first time. And I, as an investor and as a supporter of the Unitsky strain technologies since 2014, I remember how that process started. And it all started from the Commonwealth of Independent States. And we had quite a lot of active partners from Russia, from the Russian Federation. I know that they value this technology, and I know that a lot of people present here who attend our meetings regularly are also from Russia, and I understand that this piece of news is very unpleasant for you. And of course, it wasn't part of our plans. I'm talking about the RSW systems platform. And of course, it was not part of your plans, especially considering that a lot of people were using AdMix Reality too and decided to start using it. And a lot of those partners were from Russia. Of course, we have quite a lot of Russian-speaking partners that live not only in Russia but overseas too. But legally, we are bound hands and feet, and unfortunately, we can do nothing about it. However, do not be upset because I see it as a temporary measure, because sooner or later we'll come to a point where we will be able to settle this situation and make sure that we can provide services not only to that we will be able to provide services to the Russian Federation citizens. After all, this is why we are reorganizing our platform, updating it. We would like to expand its area of operations, and that those updates hopefully will allow us to expand our geography and cover the Russian Federation too, dear colleagues. So I've given you this piece of news. It's very unpleasant piece of news, both for me and for our partners in terms of our cooperation and future development. But here we could put on the different sides of the scales several factors. Should we continue and put at risk all stakeholders, or we wait a little bit, we bear with it, and then eventually find a solution and go back to our previous close cooperation? So here's the, I've told you this right now, and I see comments in the chat, and let me answer your questions in the chat that probably you have right now because of that news. I will answer all of those questions, and then I will have other things to tell you. I think it will take me like 20-30 minutes to do that. So let me read the chat. Can we extend the rebranding promotion to 10 months? Elena is asking. Well, taking into account the news that I've just given you, I will make a note of it, and we will see what I can do about it. I think we will be able to extend the rebranding promotion. I've written it down. So someone is asking about the news. The news will be given um, on the Micron Global platform. I think you will be able to access. I'm talking about the Russian nationals. You will be able to access the website. You will be able to read all the news there, but you won't be able to register there if you are a citizen of Russia. And as far as the string transportation technology development is concerned, you can subscribe to all of the websites of the engineering company. And you know that usually our news is a repost of the news from the source, from the engineer's website. So no matter what happens, in terms of crowd investing, you will still be able to check all the news on the official website of the UST Inc. company itself. Alexander is asking a question here. So, so the Russian Federation citizens will not be able to register in the new platform. However, will they be able to continue their investing on the RSW Systems platform? Well, right now, and what about the news and remuneration? Well, right now you can get the news on Vimeo, YouTube, the official website, Telegram. So all the news are there. As for the remuneration, the payouts for the for Russian citizens, you will still have access to your RSW systems platform. This is your history. This is something that you will be able to go to check all your purchases, all your investment packages since 2014. So nobody's going to take that access from you. Probably even in view of the news that we have just given you, many partners still have their installments plans not closed, and you will be able to finish paying those installment plans. The only restriction that you won't be able, the only thing that you won't be able to do is to go and register on the new platform, the Micron Global platform. But we can talk about it later. But what I would do if I were in the situation that our Russian investors are right now, I will tell you later about it. Someone says, then you shouldn't close investing on RSW systems. Well, it's not about like RSW systems or Micron Global. The law is the law. It applies to the Russian investors in general and doesn't matter whether they invest on RSW systems or Micron Global. It's kind of putting at risk both parties, because those platforms are not registered in Russia. So you will still be held responsible if you invest on a non-Russian platform. And if your investment amount is higher than the amount allowed by law, then you might be subject to a fine. Elena is asking, are there is there a comment from lawyers if a person is a specialist in the securities market and is a qualified investor? Well, in this case, you need to refer to your local laws, of course. So this legal procedure is not does take a lot of time. Even if our platform decides to go through all the procedures of registration in Russia to fall under the regulation of the Russian law, still this procedure will take from 3 to 12 months. So even if we decide to take that path, it will take us quite some time. That is why I'm saying that right now we have a small window of opportunity until the end of the year to purchase a package in RSW system in installment. You will have your back office there accessible to you, and you can finish paying your installments there. But as for the new activity on the Micron global platform, like marketing activities, etc., cannot happen in the Russian Federation. Those of you who have discounts 600, if you're a Russian national, you will have that discount in RSW systems and you will keep paying for it there. The only thing, as you know, RSW systems will not be actively updated. Yevgeny, in reply to your question, yeah, you will be able to do that until the end of the year. You can register on our RSW systems, go through verification, and pay for your installment plan. Yes, you can do that. You still have time until the end of the year. Dmitry is asking again about the discount 600. If now investors cannot invest from Russia, does it mean that Unitsky breaks his promise? No. I already told you, all of the old packages and the packages that you will purchase until the end of the year will be in force for the next 2 weeks. You won't be able to purchase new packages starting new year. So it's up to you to decide how many packages you would like to purchase before the end of the year. Especially we have like a 30% plus discount before the launch of the new platform, and after the platform is launched, the discount will be reduced by 30%. So right now you can purchase in installments as many packages as you want until the end of the year. Well, as for the discount 600, you're saying that Unitsky can is breaking his promise. How can Dr. Unitsky foresee that a country will ban or prohibit their citizens from investment activities? But no one is taking your discount from you. You still have this discount. Vladislav is asking, will the restriction on investments from Russian nationals affect the targeted projects in Russia? Because there might be problems and restrictions on the implementation of innovation technologies in a rogue state. Well, look, Russia is cooperating with lots of different institutions and partners from Asia, even from the United States and other countries. And if the Micron Global marketing platform is working for the benefit of GTI and works in the territory of the country where there are strict regulations, and if they work in violation of those regulations, then it might also affect the development of that technology on that territory. So in order to avoid those risks, we are going to stop our activities on the territory of that country until we are in line with the law. As for the funding of commercial projects or targeted projects, yes, there is a window of opportunity in 2026, probably a little bit later, to go through all the procedures so that in the territory of the European Union, the United States, post-Soviet countries, to organize a legal mechanism in such a way so that our clients, our investors, could become co-owners of both the string transportation technology and could invest in targeted commercial projects. We have such a mechanism envisioned. Very soon, an official document will be published. We're waiting for it. Probably it will be published next week on the GTI website. They are finalizing it. And this mechanism will be described there. The whole commercial project funding will be described there. Funding through crowd investing. So in reply to Vladislav's comment, this is what we'd like to come to make sure that everything is organized correctly and would not put at risk investors and the company itself. Yes, Alexander. So, yes, the RSW system will have the customer support. Nobody is going to be left behind. Don't worry, friends. You shouldn't worry about it. It doesn't mean that if RSW systems will not be able to accept new investments, the company will reject or let down all of the previous investors. No, we know that there are dozens of thousands of investors living in the Russian territory, people who believed in the company, in this technology, who supported the company at its most difficult period when it all started. So basically, no one is rejecting anyone here. The only thing here is that we cannot accept investors from Russia on the new platform and on the old platform starting from the new year, of course. But there will be customer support, informational support in RSW systems, and you will still have access to your back office and access to your installment plans there. Someone says we need to have chat news in VK. I will help you promote it. Well, Mike, yes, you can reach out to our colleagues and offer your services. We can discuss it. Elena says, thank you for your reply. Now it's clear. So we need to buy as many installment plans as possible until the end of the year. Well, your conclusion is correct. I will tell you more about it. Alexei is asking, please tell us about the payouts for Russians. Dear colleagues, we don't know yet the mechanism, how the payouts are going to be paid. So let me give you an example. So this is now how the dividends are not going to be paid according to the institutional framework, right? So let's assume, and it's not going to be dividends as such, it's going to be payouts, remuneration. So let's assume the company has a positive financial performance in 2025. So most probably, payouts will be paid to our back office. It's just my guess. It's just my guess. And since Russians will have access to RSW systems, then probably you will have access to your remuneration as well, if that remuneration is paid. So we will be able to see that remuneration in our back office, RSW systems. But the exact mechanism, I don't know how it's going to look like. How much time do you think you need until the launch of Micron Global? Sonu is asking. Well, we are at the final stage. We're testing it. It's the 13th of December. We think, so I'm trying to analyze everything's happening right now in terms of the launch, considering the situation with the Russian market too. I think the actual start is going to happen early January. I think there is no point to launch it in December because 2 weeks are left until the end of the year, and our partners, well, and the entire world is going to get ready for Christmas and New Year. So probably this is not the best time to launch it, like late December. Even if we're ready to launch it on the 15th or 20th of December, I don't think it makes sense to do it in that time frame. Probably early January is the best period to do that. So let me first finish the topic of the Russian market and the restrictions on the Russian investors, especially for those who understand the capacity and the potential of the UST. It is the best time for you to invest, especially the Russian investors. You know that in the crisis period, a crisis is also a period of opportunity. And the way I see it as an investor, first of all, like Elena Samokhina put it correctly in the chat, that it's a very good opportunity to purchase as many installment plans as possible until the end of the year. So someone's asking about when was discount 600 introduced first. I think it was first introduced in 2016, year 2016. This discount was offered to the partners who met all the conditions back then in order to enjoy that discount. And those who used or took advantage of that discount back then, they still can use that discount of 600 until such time as they stop meeting the requirements or decide themselves not to use it anymore. So it was an exclusive offer since 2016. Nadezhda is saying a lot of partners cannot access their accounts after moving from SWIG to RSW systems, and they cannot use their emails because they cannot access through their email because they haven't used that email for a long time. Well, if you're using the same email, then you shouldn't have any problem going from SWIG to RSW system. But if you lost access to your email, then how is it our problem? I mean, you should first recover your access to your email and then move from SWIG to RSW systems. And our support service can help you with that transition, but you need to gain access to your own email. You need to use the same email address that you used in SWIG, and then you can use it in RSW systems. This is the only way how you can gain access. There is no other way. So yeah, I'll tell you more about the discount 144 a little bit later. Colleagues, so people are asking about the remuneration, the payout. So let me put it this way. We don't yet know the mechanism of paying outs. Right now, for example, if you're getting your bonus funds through the partnership program, you can withdraw those funds to your cards or to your crypto wallet. So you are saying that the banks will be asking for the source of income. So if you are a business owner, a small business owner, you still pay taxes in your country. For example, in my country, I was an individual entrepreneur and I paid taxes on my income. And I paid taxes absolutely transparently. All my incomes were transparent and I had no problems. As for the remuneration, you decide yourself whether you want to declare that income or not. So you are responsible for paying your own taxes. So it's all You should follow the laws of your own country, and you know your country's laws better than me. Dmitry, in reply to your question, uh, you are asking, I cannot make a payment in SWC. I would like you to move discount 600 to your platform. Okay, you should go to the support and ask them, send that request, and they will help you. Igor is asking how to explain to those Russian citizens who were ready to start their business activities on Micron that we couldn't have predicted the Russians wouldn't be able to invest on it, and how to make sure that how to make them understand that I'm not a liar. Well, I've just explained it to you, that you just tell them what I've told you, that it is life and no one could have predicted it, because life is changing and we will also always face changes. We just need to adapt. You explain them the situation, and you should not be held responsible because you are their sponsor or you invited them. Nobody could have known that they would adopt this law and that certain geopolitical events would happen. So don't take it personally. And if they are adults, they will understand. If they're adequate people, they will fully understand that. Alexei, let me repeat it. Alexei is asking, so will won't Russians be cheated out of their remuneration? Don't worry. It's not about like in order for you to receive remuneration, you don't have to be a citizen of a specific country. What I'm saying here is that we as a platform cannot work with the citizens of a certain country because of the laws, in order not to put at risk our own platform and the clients themselves. So the investment business is put on hold for now until such time when we can bring everything in line with the Russian laws. As for the remuneration, the payouts, it has nothing to do with it. So basically, you will have access to RSW systems, and if a decision is made to pay remuneration to our back offices, you will be able to go to your back office and receive your remuneration there. But remuneration will be paid in proportion to how many pre-IPO shares you have, regardless of your country of residence. And now, colleagues, let me recap. Since right now we are in a situation like this, when we can't work with quite a huge category of people, I'm talking about the residents from the Russian Federation, and I explained the reasons for that, and we will have a news published about it on our website. Since ahead of us we have the launch of the Micron Global Platform early January. So the Russian citizens right now will still have the opportunity until the end of the year, until the launch of the new platform, while the RSW system is still accepting payments from Russians. You still have the opportunity to use our platform to purchase a new package or to finish paying for your old packages, and then you will be you will still have access to your back office even after the launch of the Micron Global and finish paying your installments, but you will not be able to make new purchases once the Micron Global platform is launched. I'm talking about the Russian citizens only here. And I will tell you my opinion at the end, how I would do. For example, if I were in a similar situation, in if I still wanted to increase my portfolio with pre-IPO shares of GTI, I would use the current offer to increase my portfolio because I don't know when such an opportunity will become available to me in the future. This is my viewpoint as an investor. As an active partner, I would inform my team about it, my potential candidates, my potential investors and clients of the platform, and that's it. I would give them all the information. So right now, dear friends, you have all the information I have and you need, and so you should act accordingly. So if you want still to increase your portfolio, you can still use the current promotional discount that will be reduced by 30% when the new platform is launched, and then still you can also make use of the affiliate program we have. You can receive good commissions from your personal sales, and then you can reinvest those commissions into purchasing new pre-IPO shares. And you will have this opportunity for the next 2 weeks at least until the launch of the new platform. So I'm sorry for this, for bearing the bad news for some of you, but this is the situation we're in right now. Zuhra is asking about the Belarusian citizens. Yes, the Belarusian citizens will be able to participate on the new platform because no such law was adopted in Belarus. Someone is asking, is it the United States' fault that they set such conditions for Russia? No, it has nothing to do with the United States. As far as I understand, it was the Russian government that adopted this law in August 2025, and I don't know exactly when it's coming into force, but it has nothing to do with sanctions or United States. It's the Russian local law that regulates the investments made by the Russian citizens. Kamal Dev is saying that anyone can get a discount 600. You should contact me and I will tell you how. Kamal, you are not right. That discount was available only in 2016. Those who took advantage of it in 2016, and they still have it because they're still meeting the condition. But you cannot have this condition now. So only if you took advantage of that discount back then, you are still capable of using that discount if you meet the conditions, but it will not be available to new buyers. There is no way. So, colleagues, I have no. Alexei says, no, it's not 2016, it's 2015. So that's when this offer was made first, 10 years ago. Alexander again is asking, even if Russians receive remuneration in the back office, the banks will be controlling the source of income. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Probably you can use crypto. For example, if you are withdrawing your bonus funds, do banks ask you where that money comes from? I don't think so. I don't think you're experiencing problems. Well, in such situations, I suggest you use crypto, which are crypto solutions which ensure better confidentiality rather than bank transfers or card withdrawals. What's going to happen in 1 year, 2 years? Can't tell you. Only the Lord knows. Can't predict future right now. I can make assumptions. I can make predictions, and give you my personal viewpoint. DNA is asking about dividends in Russia. I already answered that question. Victor, I don't know what you're writing here. So you're saying you invested in 2018. So what? So probably you fell out of the loop if something is not clear to you. Probably go and rewatch videos and clarifications. Probably you are out of the loop. There was a lot of official information published by the company, more than enough. So, friends, let me remind you that I cannot read your questions if they're not written in Russian. So I suggest you first translate your questions in Google Translate into Russian and then post the translation in the chat, okay? Because I cannot handle all those languages here. So what you can do is you can take your question, have it translated by Google, and then copy paste the translation in the chat. It will be way faster for everyone. Okay, friends, I see lots of questions being repeated. There will be an announcement made that next week we're going to have another meeting either on Thursday or Saturday. We'll still keep that date open. It will depend on when the news is going to be published on the GTI website, because it will be a post about the strategical development of the company for the next 10 years. So this document will be our vector course laying document, and it will also lay the foundation for the Micron Global website. And there will be dozens of pages in that document. I think all of our partners, investors, simply have to read that document once it's published, and then our next meeting will be dedicated to the analysis of that document. Therefore, for now, we will keep the date for our next meeting open. It will be either Thursday or Saturday, and the closed meeting will be held after the open meeting, because I expected this document to be published on the GTI website a little bit earlier. That's why I planned a different timeline for the information delivery, but taking into account that it took more time for the document to be published. Therefore, we have to make changes in our schedule of our meetings. So let's wait for the memorandum to be published on the GTI website. Then we will discuss it in our open meeting, and then we will have a closed meeting, and then I will tell you everything about the launch of the platform and all the related processes. So this meeting probably was most important and useful to the Russian citizens and residents. So, dear partners and friends, I'm really sorry that it happened, but on the other hand, it is also a window of opportunity for you, because you still have some little time left to take advantage of the current promotion. And I think in the very near future, you will be glad that you didn't allow that opportunity to pass you by, because I don't know how much time it will make us to go through all the necessary legal procedures for the company to be able to offer its services to the Russian citizens in order not to be in violation of the local laws. So you still have 2 weeks left for you to make a decision regarding uh, how to move in that direction. In 2026, someone says the investments will drop drastically. Well, not exactly. I know I have my predictions regarding the countries that will start investing heavily in 2026, but I know that Russia did not or has not invested heavily in the recent years. So I don't see, even if Russia is cut off temporarily from the investment process on our platform, and if Russia is cut off, then there won't be a sharp drop in the investments, because the current investment amounts, like 80-90% of the current investments, are not coming from Russia right now. Yes, in the first years, it was Russia and other neighboring countries that accounted for the biggest amount of investments, but currently they are not anymore. So yeah, there won't be any sharp decline in investments in 2026 because of the Russia being cut off. Someone says, will people from Slovakia be able to invest? Yes, of course, they will. They will. So I see uh, the words of thanks for clarification and recommendations. I would like to wish good luck to all of you. Well, thank you very much, Yelena. I would like to use your words to address those words to everyone else. Yes, dear friends, good luck. And let me remind you that we still have 2 weeks left for us to take advantage of the current promotional discounts within the rebranding promotion. So do not allow this opportunity to be lost, and take advantage of it. And we will see you next time, and we will inform you about the date of the next meeting, either on our website or in our Telegram channel. So, dear friends, have a nice end of the Saturday, and have a nice weekend. Thank you very much for attention. Bye bye.